Hey guys, how's it going today? I just wanted to go over today some of my experience with buying poor quality gun parts and why buying them was not a good idea. But you know, now in today's atmosphere, it's getting back to normal, but a lot of people bought gun parts in the last 6 months that may not have been very good, and just going over some things I bought that turned out to not be good quality and what I experienced, the money I wasted, and how you don't have to do that after you watch this video. Okay, so let's go over the first thing. Well, I bought an upper that I got off a gun broker, and that's part of it actually. But I rebuilt this rifle here and replaced all the parts that were no good. The parts that I replaced were the barrel and the upper receiver. And if you'll notice here, this upper receiver is a no-name upper receiver. At a glance, it looks like any other upper receiver. That's the deceiving part. Is that when you buy parts, you don't always know what you're getting, even if they look like what they're supposed to be. As you can see, the forward assist on this upper works fine. The ejection port dust cover, it works fine. Alright. But when I first was testing it, I noticed there was metal shaving off right there, some aluminum actually, whenever the charging handle would lock in and out. And I was like, wow, if you can see that, I mean, that's some pretty serious wear that should not be occurring just from testing it. And so I was like, wow, that aluminum is really soft. So I don't know where this upper receiver was made or even what it was made out of, but I'm guessing it's just soft aluminum. This is not forged aircraft aluminum. It's very soft. And so it's garbage now, except for maybe the dust cover and the forward assist. And I'm not even going to pull those out just because I have other ones that I'm going to use anyway. So this was a waste. This was about you know, this can be anywhere from $120 to $160 part. Okay, one of the reasons why I also decided to get rid of it is because I noticed that this was the barrel that came with it. Okay, it's another, you know, it's another no-name product. I did look up the brand. It's sorry about the focus. I'll try to fix that. If you'll notice here on the barrel, though, it says 5.56 NATO. Doesn't really say anything else. ARD, A-R-D. Okay, I don't know what that brand is. It's a no-name brand. This barrel could very well have been made in China. I don't know. One thing I noticed, though, is if you look at the feed ramps here, you'll notice there are quite a bit of tool marks there and there. If you can see them, I can tell you guys can see these. There are these marks that kind of go, you know, in a circle in the form of the tool that ground them out, right? Well, what was happening is rounds were getting stuck on those little corrugations that were left by some tool that wasn't sharp enough to really cut it very well. So the rounds were getting hung up on it. And also you'll notice that it's just not very even here on the feed ramps. And so this was a complete waste of money also. I tried to polish the feed ramps with a Dremel tool and some polishing compound, and I even put it all back together and took it to the range, and it still had the same problem. So that is a completely useless barrel. Totally useless. What a tragedy, huh? How sad. There's two parts over there. Barrel and an upper receiver, completely useless. Okay. Now, as you can see, this is a gas block. Low profile gas block. What happened here is this actually was made in the United States from a company here in the US. Supposedly this company's pretty good. They're no Yankee Hill or anything like that though. And so whenever I was installing the gas block, it seemed like everything was going okay. And this is a clamping gas block that's actually adjustable. That's what this is. And so I pinned the gas tube to it. As you can see, it's still pinned. And when I was putting it on, look in there, look in that hole on the right. That's right, an Allen key snapped off in there, an Allen screw still stuck in there. It broke off in there. This was a $60 part, $50 part. On top of the fact that adjustable gas blocks are really unnecessary anyway. I mean, 223 is such a small round anyway. You know, these adjustable gas blocks are so you can adjust the gas just right to where you get just enough gas to blow back the bolt. But if you lose this little part right here, that little Allen key, Allen screw, renders it completely useless. You've got a one-shot rifle. I found that out after talking to some people who really know what they're doing with the ar-15 rifles. You know, but I'm kind of an amateur. I am an amateur, not kind of. So, live and learn, right? $50 gas block, completely useless. It's fucking garbage. I'm not mad about it. I'm just creating some drama to make it interesting, I guess. Go to hell, gas block. And you too, barrel. And you too, Chinese upper receiver. Really, we don't like you anymore. And lastly, look, here's another made in the USA product from a company that apparently started up during all this crazy gun craze, you know, shortage of parts. I'm not going to mention the company. It's not worth it. I don't want to hurt them anyway. But look at this. You see that right there? After using it a little while, look what happened to the pin for the actual catch. It's completely like bent all out to the side, all fucked up, unusable. This part is completely ruined. This was a, I believe, $30, $40 part, when I should have just bought a Stag Arms or a Bravo company. Stupid. See, look at the bottom. Completely useless. Completely useless. Like, this is not usable anymore. This would not lead to a reliable firearm, in other words. You know, so this was apparently made in the USA. I think my point is, though, here is that you know, the gas block and this charging handle were both made in the USA. But Apparently that doesn't matter if you don't know what you're doing when you start machining parts. If you're not a reputable manufacturer. You know, all these companies came in out of the woodwork after the gun parts shortage, especially for AR-15 pieces, you know, started coming about. Anyway, this part's completely useless. Go ahead and put them all in a pile. All the useless bullshit that I bought. Wow, what a tragedy. What a bunch of wasted money. That's probably about $400+ worth of parts right there. What a waste. And then lastly, I got this flash hider off of Gunbroker. Some guy started manufacturing flash hiders, right? How hard can it be to manufacture your own flash hider? Well, apparently harder than it seems, okay? Because if you look at this flash hider, it looks cool actually. Looks pretty normal. It's made of pretty thick steel. You know, it looks like it's machined well. The threads are good. It does fit on the barrel, no problem. But look at this. See the little wrench, the wrenching area there? That's not big enough to even... I don't have a wrench that skinny. Okay, I don't have a wrench that skinny. None of my wrenches are that skinny. Look. This wrench is a Barska wrench, and it's a pretty shitty wrench also, honestly. But if you look here though, anyway, I can't do it with one hand if I'm holding the camera, but the point is though, is that if you look here, this wrench won't fit on it to wrench it down, and neither will an ordinary crescent wrench. Look at this. Ordinary crescent wrench. I'd have to grind it down and make it thinner to make it fit on there. Just to give you a perspective here, look. So in other words, I can't even wrench it on there because I don't have a tool that will do it. Okay? I emailed the guy, I'm like, hey, what brand is this, you know? He's like, oh, I manufactured them myself. Got them machined myself. $25, that's how much that part was. Waste of fucking money. Can't even put it on. And on top of that, if you know, all these flash hiders, you've got to get the bottom on the bottom, because that way they don't make dust signature whenever you're firing your rifle. So anyway, that's another wasted part. $25, $30 I think after shipping. Look at all this shit. Almost a whole rifle now. Look at this. $450 worth of parts pretty much right there. Whatever. 400 plus more dollars worth of parts. Okay, here's another thing though. This wrench I was using. This thing, even on a Yankee Hill, this is supposed to be the one that's made for wrenching down a flash hider, compensator, whatever. I read on the internet that people had tried to grind off the paint in order to make them work right. No, that didn't help. That didn't help. It still won't fit. This is a $30, $40 tool from Brownells. I got it from Brownells. You know, the prongs do work for installing a free float, but you have to grind it down because the paint is too thick. This was a salvageable tool though, not completely useless. And the castle nut wrench does work, even though I really don't like it very much. I like this better because it's got 3 prongs as opposed to 1 prong, as you can see. So this part here, $6. This part here, really only good for putting on free float tubes. That's alright, it's only got to have one purpose. So I'm not as upset about that one. So no big deal there. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I just, you know, here's what happened to the round after it got stuck in the feed ramps of the bad barrel and upper receiver. So anyway, all this is garbage. It's just total garbage now, so I guess we should just throw it in the trash. But you know what? I'm not going to throw it in the trash. This is going to be my museum of shit that you shouldn't buy. So I can remind myself of why not to buy no name brand parts. When you buy parts, guys, buy, and I learned the hard way, get Yankee Hill, Daniel Defense, Bravo Company, Midwest Industries, Magpul. Get Stag Arms, Palmetto State Armory. I don't really care. Do your homework, do your research as to what's a good company. Go with major name brands. That's another thing. And also another thing I should just go ahead and throw in there too. You see this? You see this buffer tube here? Well, it's a commercial buffer tube. Okay, commercial buffer tubes are pieces of shit. Don't buy them. If you got one, I would just go ahead and replace it and throw it in the garbage. Commercial is not forged. That's what I was told by a AR-15 veteran who knows a lot about these rifles. Forged. The reason the commercial buffer tubes are thicker is because they're not forged. That's how they can get away with it not being forged. It is not mil spec, in other words. You know, this stock is also made for commercial. Just buy mil spec buffer tubes and stocks. Do yourself a favor. And when it comes to really any parts for your gun, just get major name brand parts. I didn't go over the bolt carrier. I didn't go over the lower. I didn't go over your quad rail, but you know, that's another thing. This quad rail here takes a special tool that notches in right there to put it on. That's ridiculous. You don't want that. I was able to salvage that quad rail though and put it on this rifle, but if I knew the brand, you know, it came on that ARD brand. I wouldn't. Once again, I mean, it's kind of a piece of shit too. I almost couldn't salvage that. You know, so it's depressing to waste money. So anyway, I hope you guys learn from my mistakes here. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them, but I think this pretty much explains it all. Alright? It's the 4th of July, so you guys have a happy 4th. And God bless America.